In 2020, Jeremy Hunsinger wrote about the creepy universities and their deployment of creepy treehouse. A creepy treehouse is when a faculty member chooses a technology they prefer because of their history with it and forces the students, against their comfort, to use that technology in the classroom. The technology almost always has elements that creep the students out, such as invasions of privacy, surveillance, cultural difference, or otherwise. The creepy university is the future of the university. In my own work, I have written about the fact that resilience in the context of higher education and other work domains, such as the British National Health Service, is among my own circle a subject of derision, a neoliberal, not to say managerialist strategy to avoid systemic change and displace responsibility of structurally unsustainable working practices onto individuals. Many of us feel that the construct of resilience, as we experience it within occupational settings, is designed to patch us up and get us back into unhealthy working conditions, regardless of the long-term impact on our health and relationships. Resilience has no regard for our quality of life. Indeed, it expects us to efface our bodies and minds in the name of continuing on the treadmill of bad employment conditions. One can only imagine the derision Amazon workers must have for the mindfulness booths recently introduced for workers who often have to wear nappies or diapers or urinate on the run. Colin Drury of The Independent wrote in 2019, "Workers at an Amazon warehouse are having to urinate in plastic bottles rather than go to the toilet during their shifts," it has been claimed. The reports came as crowds of protesters gathered outside the internet giant's so-called fulfillment centres across the United Kingdom to demand improvement in workers' conditions. The Amazon meditation booth is a small room where employees can watch company videos about mindfulness while a small fan moves the air around. Even the expression, recharge the internal battery, frames workers as machines in need of brief servicing to get back on the production line. This is the opposite of well-being by any human definition. It is capitalism in one of its rawest, cruelest forms, from a corporation whose CEO is too busy having trips into space to give his low-paid workers the consideration of toilet breaks. The Amazon meditation booth takes creepiness to new levels, but Zoom is its dreary, vanilla expression, conducive to what Hunsinger calls the Zoom zombie, a person who is there but not there. There is only the appearance of presence. Zoom has become the killer app of the university's remote administration, and shortly after it was introduced as the killer app of online lecturing. Anyone who has participated in enough classrooms has seen classroom zombies, students who are completely turned off. Similarly, Zoom zombies are prevalent both in online Zoom classrooms and in other meetings. The manifestation of this human response as not being there in the face-to-face classroom has been extended to not being there in Zoom meetings. Platitudes concerning work-life balance are common in the neoliberal university, writes Peter Fleming in Dark Academia of 2021. According to the official line, employers have a duty of care to help employees develop healthy work habits. Managers must remind staff to take annual leave, utilise fitness centres, avoid email during unsociable hours, and complete online tutorials about mental well-being in the workplace. Meditation and yoga classes are sometimes even offered to accentuate the point. Universities don't do all this out of kindness. There is a strong business care for work-life balance programs, since the economic costs of burnout can be significant. More importantly, universities are protected from compensation claims that stem from overwork if they have previously offered advice about work-life balance. In this context, the EduFactories assembly line may actually be sped up. Institutional Moodle sites and other VLEs mirror the tensions between a regime of discipline and a regime which appeals to the neoliberal psyche, between Foucault's disciplinary world of hospitals, madhouses, prisons, barracks and factories, and one which has largely been replaced by a society of fitness studios, office towers, banks, airports, shopping malls. This is Byung-Chul Han. Moodle landing pages point clearly to the many ways in which, at least within a neoliberal context, we are no longer a disciplinary society, but rather an achievement society, in which inhabitants are no longer obedience subjects, but achievements subjects. But what of those who fall foul of achievement society through autonomic rebellion, such as depression, or some other somaticized failure to remain positive, let alone an act of conscious terror? In 2008, the Health and Safety Executive in the UK calculated that 13.8 million working days annually are lost to work-related stress, anxiety and depression, and the University and College Union's 2008 survey found academics reporting very high levels of stress, considerably higher than average, which had increased from earlier surveys. Despite the profound impact upon our lives, these stress levels are rarely spoken of within the academy, and if they are, they tend to be treated as individual, personal experiences rather than structural features of the contemporary university. Luckily, it seems our Moodle landing pages have a solution for all possible transgressions, both for terrorism and depression. In many universities, links are provided for once-a-term head massages, yoga and mindfulness sessions, confirming Chul Han's assertion that we have shifted from a disciplinary to an achievement society, in a process of discarding negativity in which unlimited can is the modal verb. Even for poor occupational performance, my personalised management package helps me to correct it in a positive way, recommending power postures to boost confidence and efficiency. Additionally, I can study all these modules at my own pace, because what is truly personalised about this learning is that I can do it at home or on the bus or in the middle of the night. I can improve myself 24/7. As Jonathan Crary puts it, we can enjoy a temporality in which an unimpeded substitutability between time becomes normalised. Conventional and older durational units persist, like 9 to 5 or Monday to Friday, but overlaid onto them are all the practices of individual time management made possible by 24/7 networks and markets. The personalisation we are dealing with here is arguably not driven by pedagogic or well-being imperatives, but an appeal to self-exploitation within a context where everyone should at least feel free, where we lay ourselves bare voluntarily, in which freedom and insecurity now form the new couple in neoliberal governmentality. UK higher education policy, like that of so many other neoliberal states, models an individualised construct of social mobility in which the focus is the capacity for individuals to move up or down socio-economic hierarchies, focusing on individual capacities rather than addressing wider societal issues. This has gone hand in hand with the growth of the academic precariat and an ideology of self-improvement. In such a context, the increasing emphasis on personalised learning, or rather the instrumental fragmentation of a cohesive political response, is exemplified by the reductio ad absurdum of the power posture and resilience. What we need, I would argue, is not well-being days and yoga culture, but a culture of critical resilience, collegial and supportive of workers and students, alert to the myriad forms of exploitation and remediation via creepy tree houses and a managerialist logic of Zoomified zombies.